I want to make sure that everybody is in the right place. Make sure you're where you're supposed to be. Who's here for this week's Top Option Trades webinar? Give me a yes down in questions if that is why you are here. Okay, get some yeses, get some yeses. Got Charlie says yes. Oh, I got to clear out all the O's from earlier though. Charlie says yes. Shelly says yes. John says yes. Excellent. Okay, how about this? How about I'm here to get serious about my trading success. You're here spending your time on a Saturday morning. Are you here to get serious about your trading success? Okay, Ken says yes. Kelly says yes. Gary says yes. Jim is so serious. Eric, Pamela, David, holy cow. We got a lot of participation today. How about this? I felt frustrated, or I want more confidence and consistency in my trading. Is that you? Is that you? John says yes. JB says yes. Dennis says yes. Okay. And how about I'm here to learn and share in a supportive community. Community in trading is a really important thing. Okay, Gary says yes. Shelly says yes. Actually, Gary says yes for real. Eric, Dennis, Jim, Ken, and Mark, you're doing great. David says hell yes. All right. So great. And how about I'm just happy to be here because I know I am. So thank you for joining us today. It takes a level of commitment to invest in yourself by showing up on a webinar like this. And I understand that as much as anyone. You're the kind of person who's willing to make that kind of investment in yourself. And I love that. That's the kind of commitment we see in our best traders. Those of you who fearlessly approach not just the market, but fearlessly approach your trading enterprise. Amazing things can happen when you have no fear, when you're that committed. The reason I'm sharing this webinar today is that, recently I was thinking about trading resources and I thought, wouldn't it be great if we could all just sort of call the hotline when we need a trade idea or when we have a trade that's in trouble? Like, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? So I figured that I would talk about this today on this webinar and share exactly what the key market drivers are, share what our community is thinking, what our plan is for the rest of this year, and share with you some trade ideas from our head coach, John. So here is what I will share today. Strategies from the MTM community. That's our community. Market analysis and Coach John's trading plan and the top trade ideas right now. And at the end of this presentation, I'll show you how you can take the next step and make all this really, really easy and gain consistency in your trading. So once again, I'm Dan Passarelli, author of Trading Option Greeks and the Market Taker's Edge. I'm often on TV talking about the markets. This is sort of a visual representation of some of the things I've done and organizations I work with. I work with many of the options exchanges all around the world, and probably all the options brokers in the US, and I've helped traders just like you in over 50 countries to become successful. Now, let's talk a little bit about our community. So for me, like how did I get to this point 27 years later in my career in trading? I learned on the job how to trade from professional traders down on the trading floor. Being in that like community type environment and just having access to some of the best minds in the world. I was extremely fortunate to have been in that situation. And then once I started trading, of course, I made mistakes. Like everybody does when they first start out, but I found that the more I listened to these people around me, the better I got. And I would ask a lot of questions, because I find that like if you have a question, someone else probably has the same question, and if you're in this community, someone else has that answer, and it's just such a great way to learn. And we have in our community kind of the center of it is the MTM community chat room. This is the best trader chat room ever created. And later, I'm going to actually share with you how you can be part of it for free. So in the MTM community chat room, it's people helping each other, right? And people sharing trade ideas and just trading online all day long. It's really, really great community. Anyway, I'll tell you more about that later. So question for you. If you could invest $1,000 and it paid you back $2,000 or $5,000 or $10,000, how does that sound? Would you do it? If you could invest $1,000 and it paid you back $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, is that something you would be interested in? Jim says, sign me up. Shelly says, yes. Charlie says, hell yes. Eric says, all day long. Vera, duh. Ken, absolutely. Right. And what if you could do it again? What if you could do it consistently month after month, week after week, right? Like that's how trading works. That's how trading's supposed to work, isn't it? You know, a little bit ago, funny story. A little bit ago, I tried to install one of those Google Nest doorbells. You know what I'm talking about? Where, you know, there's a little camera on it. You can see who's at your front door and talk to them through it. And well, I should say I attempted to install it. I wanted to, you know, I wanted to save some money and just figure it out for myself, you know. And as the project unfolded, I came to realize that I have an old doorbell chime unit from like 1982. And I'm not a super handy guy. I'll just tell you that right off the bat. And if you ever looked at the wires in your doorbell system, especially if you have one with like a front doorbell and a back doorbell, like there's all these different colors. There's no logic to them. You know, we're dealing with just a bunch of unknowns, right? And needless to say, at some point, I just gave up. You know, I just gave up. I never saw this before and I didn't know what to do. So after wasting probably like 5 hours of my time, and you know, I'm a busy guy just like you, right? We all are, and time is money. So I called an expert. He's seen it all before. He came by, fixed it within 10 minutes, explained it to me so I understood it. And the next time I see it, I'll be able to recognize it and fix it myself. And that's the approach that I've discovered works best so that I don't waste my time and waste my money. So let's talk a little bit about the market in general, and then we're going to drill down into some very specific trades that have been working really great recently. So first of all, in the S&P 500, this is a chart of spiders from yesterday, right after the close. It's been an eventful month so far. Yesterday, we dipped down pretty close to correction territory. It's been a wild ride all year, crazy times, but good. Volatility is the friend of option traders. If you know what to do with it, volatility is the friend of option traders. So let me share a brief synopsis of the inside factors that have been at play recently. So the biggest force at play, obviously, is the election and what happens afterwards. We see high volatility priced into options that expire after Tuesday night, after election night. So what's interesting is that that volatility is priced in not just for like, you know, Wednesday and Thursday, but throughout the end of the year. You know, this is the analysis that our study shows. Some of that has to do with the potential election results being contested and you know, everything we hear about that. And some of it has to do with COVID cases rising and worries about the economy. But either way, it doesn't really matter what the reasons are. Volatility means opportunity. Now, one of the key things to notice on this chart is all the support lines that have been broken over the past several days. There was support established at $340 that was resistance back in early August. Also at that price, coincidentally, is the 50-day moving average. That is also a pivot point and was support and is now resistance. There was also support at $330 and $327. So this has been a forceful move downward and on high volume. So there's been a lot of selling going on. So what do we do with that information? Well, so this is one of the trades that actually John, I mentioned John, our head coach, AKA Johnny Cat, that he shared with our elite students this week. In fact, this one he shared on Monday, and it's in VXX, which is the volatility ETF. And it's amazing how powerful trained analysis of volatility can be. There's great opportunities when you're able to take advantage of that. So there exists this inverse relationship between stock prices and ETF prices and volatility. Now, I don't want to get super high level right here, or excuse me, I don't want to get super detailed right now, but volatility is implied volatility is basically how cheap or expensive options are, right? So there's this inverse relationship. When stocks go up, options get cheaper. When stocks go down, options get more expensive, and that's represented in the VXX ETF. So what John shared with our students on Monday is his trade was to buy the November 6th, 22-25 bull call spread in VXX, which obviously, if you've been following this, or if you can look at this chart here, worked like a frickin' charm. You know, it worked perfectly, and not because, you know, he guessed right, but because he uses this volatility analysis. Like it's extremely important, and it broadens your opportunities. Really super powerful stuff. So this in the Qs, QQQ, this is another type of trade that has worked extremely well lately, and that's taking short deltas into weakness and capitalizing on these overpriced options that I just mentioned that have gotten even more overpriced as the week went on. So on Tuesday, John's trade was in the Qs, selling the October 30th. So those are the ones that just expired yesterday. 287, 289 bear call spread. Okay. So a bear call spread, like the name, you know, implies, works in bearish scenarios, which is when the market goes down. And so, you know, how was John able to identify this? Well, you know, look, using the volatility analysis that we just, you know, discussed was a big part of it. Breaking through this 50-day moving average, big part of it. We just permeated it on Tuesday, and then looking again at the volatility analysis, because look, if you're bearish, there's a whole bunch of different ways to take advantage of said bearish opportunity. I can short the stock, I can buy puts, I can buy a put spread, I can do a bear call spread, but which one is best? Because I will tell you something, strategy selection, which trades you choose, like the way you choose to trade an opportunity, which particular strategy you select, is one of the biggest and most underrated skills that any trader can have. I mean, two people can be looking at the exact same chart, seeing the exact same thing, sitting right next to each other, looking at the same darn screen, and one can trade it one way and one can trade it a different way, and one of them's going to make more money. And one of them might even lose money where the other one makes money. And, you know, both putting on bearish positions, both agreeing on the forecast. So strategy selection and being able to work in some of these things, to work in the right things and pick the optimal way to trade a scenario has a profound difference on your bottom line at the end of the year. And that ultimately is one of the top things that separates out the traders who make it and the traders who don't make it. So you need this resource for being able to identify not just, okay, look, yeah, here's a bearish chart, but what is the smartest way to trade it? Okay, also on Tuesday, John had this trade in Win, and this is another sort of common theme that we're seeing right now that's working super well. And this is one of the things, this was a great one. This is pure genius. This is one of the things that John is a master with, and that is these directional time spreads, okay? So on Tuesday, John's trade was the October 30th, November 6th, 73 call calendar. And, you know, it just works like a charm because of a couple of things. Again, not because he guessed right, like traders who ultimately make money and, you know, are in trading for 27 years like me or 30 years like John. The reason traders can have that longevity isn't because they're good at guessing, isn't because they're getting lucky. It's because two things. One, they're picking the best positions, and two, they're able to use things like certain technical patterns on a chart and also volatility. When we're looking at these calendar spreads, which are also called time spreads, and I'll share with you later how you can learn more about those, you know, if you're not familiar with them. But doing a volatility analysis, doing what we call looking at the term structure of volatility, which is basically a fancy way of saying buy cheap options and sell expensive options at the same time and lock in a statistical edge. And man, when you do that, you can put very, very little capital at risk and really get an explosion in profit potential when it works out. So yeah, I mean, this was just pure genius. Now, this trade from our class on Wednesday, this was in GLD. So, you know, this is sort of another topic of trade that is working now, and I'm just going to put that into the category of what I would call strategic plays. Okay, this is one of these that just comes from experience, and I wish I could show you an indicator that predicts gold prices, you know, like a crystal ball, but you know, there's not. This is what comes from watching the market every day, you know, for 30 years or whatever. But you'll be able to participate in trades like this too. Like many of you haven't been in the market for 30 years. You'll be able to participate in trades like these too. Wednesday in GLD, what John's trade was the October 175, 176.5 bull call spread. And so that was just 3 days ago, 3 candles ago. And, you know, again, a lot of this kind of comes from experience and just having that macroeconomic view, right? But you know, with the election and with the volatility ticking up, you know, a gold play like this makes a ton of sense. All right, so this one, this was a great one as well. So this is volatility analysis on earnings. This is also earnings season, which provides us with really great opportunities as well And the trade shared in class by John was on Thursday, right before Twitter earnings, buying the October 30th, the one day 51 straddle. Now, if you ever tried to trade a straddle going into earnings, you know it's tough to make money doing so, right? The implied volatility is very high. That's again, that's a fancy way of saying the options are extremely juiced, pumped, expensive. And what that means is that even if you get a big move, which is what you want with a straddle, a lot of times you still lose money because those options that were overly inflated the day before earnings, it's like somebody lets the air out of the balloon and they get really cheap. So trading straddles going into earnings can be tough. Now, you know, John and I both having similar trading history, where we're usually on the same page with the trades that we share with our students, you know, in the chat room or in class. And I wish I was in John's class this day. I also traded Twitter on Thursday going into earnings, but I did it differently, which is such an extremely important lesson. If I had traded Twitter John's way, I'd have done immensely better and killed it, like the rest of the group that, you know, that was in his class that day. And so being able to successfully do this volatility analysis and you know, to have that training is super important. So this category of trades that's been working great lately is breaking support and selling overpriced options. We've seen a fair amount of that lately. So on Friday, this is yesterday morning, the trade was in SPY, the November 6th expiration, so 1 week trade, or you know, 1 week to expiration, the 340, 345 bear call spread. So again, if you're not familiar with bear call spread, what that is, what that means, it's very, very simple. It's what the name implies. It's a bearish trade. So, so a couple of things here. The momentum, and John will look, John and I will look at charts on smaller time frames, you know, because I mean, looking at the chart, if you just ignore the yesterday's candle, like how are you supposed to predict accurately that we're going to continue lower? I mean, you can read the news, but you know, like that's so easy to misinterpret or be wrong about your opinion on that. And so looking at charts on the smaller time frame and where that permeates support can be really, really key as well. And then selecting the way to trade it, you know, just go and buy puts, you know, not in this case with the options so expensive. Like I tell people, basically, like when you've gotten to that point where you can identify trades like this on your own, like the way you get to that point is you basically let the market tell you what to trade. And I know that sounds, you know, it sounds like, wow, you know, I wish the market would just tell me what to trade. But like, that's literally what you do, you know, like not using the charts, not using this stuff to guess about the future, but just letting them, like watching what the market is doing and letting it tell you how to trade it. Like there was not a better way to trade this than by selling these extremely expensive options as the market gains momentum going through support. It was just, you know, it's what the information basically literally tells you to do. Now, as you can see, so I keep mentioning volatility. Volatility is a common theme in all these trades, right? And our research shows, like I mentioned earlier, volatility is likely to continue through the rest of the year. I believe the next 2 months can be your best trading months ever if you're ready for it. And man, aren't we all ready for it? Give me a yes. Like, are you ready for the next 2 months to be your best months? Like, give me a yes for that one, right? Are you ready for your next 2 months to be your best months trading? Charlie says yes. Shelly says yes. Ken says yes. Gary says yes. Mike says yes. Vera says yes. Vera says hell yes, as a matter of fact. Eric, yes with an exclamation point. Pamela, sure. Come on, let's get a hell yes. How about that, Pamela? Richard says, oh yes. Christy says yes. Okay, so yeah, and you know what? I am too, and we've literally got that potential. We did this volatility analysis, and I don't recall ever seeing that volatility pattern ever before. And I've been doing this for 27 years. I believe that we are on this crux of one of the best periods of trading for option traders, potentially, that, I don't know, that may have ever existed. And it's just because of the volatility and all the opportunities that presents. There you go, Pamela. There's the hell yes. I like that. All right, good. So this trade here, so this is another one just from yesterday. And this category of trades, this is short deltas into weakness and breaking support. So deltas, those of you who aren't familiar yet with the Greeks and all that, they're very important stuff. But if you're not familiar with the Greeks yet, this short deltas is basically just a fancy way of saying create a position that makes money when the market goes down, and when there is weakness. Like, you can, like the trained eye can identify this weakness as stocks bust through previous support lines that become resistance lines, both on, and this 6-month daily candle chart is sort of the go-to starting point. But then again, like I said, on shorter time frames, we want to look at different time frames on the chart. So this trade here of John's that we talked about in our class yesterday was in Apple. It's the November 6th, 105, 110 bear put spread. November 6th, 105, 110 bear put spread. And so again, as the name implies, like we talked about a couple of bear call spreads, you can have bear call spreads or bear put spreads, and which one do you select? Again, that depends on what we call the volatility analysis. And so looking at this, why did John choose the bear put spread instead of the bear call spread? Well, that of course is because he wanted to be the most strategic, have the greatest chance of win, risk the least, and make the most. It's sort of that trifecta of things that you have to balance: chance of success, capital at risk, profit potential. And so, yeah, just, setting this up that way, it was just the best way to set it up, and that's why it's powerful. Okay, so let's talk about trading here for the next month. In fact, probably the next 2 months, probably through the end of the year. Lessons learned here: this market can make you money, and it's your choice whether to participate. What you choose to do impacts your life. And in a market like this, like over the next 2 months, it can have a very profound financial impact on you, on your finances, on your trading account. Also, get your information. Trading is an information business. I can remember the last trading firm that I worked at. Actually, in fact, every single trading firm I ever worked at, there was always an analysis desk. The professional traders would rely heavily on the analysis desk. A lot of people don't know this. The analysis desk, there's one at every single trading firm. It's a designated person or people who do the research and pass along the trade ideas to the traders for final analysis and execution. It made it so much easier for traders to make money and make more efficient use of their time. They let someone else do all the heavy lifting, all the research, all the complex analysis, and the traders, then got the trade ideas and were the ones who traded it. It was their trades, and that's why they made millions of dollars. But the ideas come from the person who does the analysis, and then the trader takes advantage of it. Also, trade your plan and manage your risk, and also follow the smart money. There are people who live these markets every day. These are the people to follow. We have a lot of students who are traders doing really well right now, but I also hear from people who are not. And the people who aren't doing well are failing because of, just not knowing what to do, like me with the stupid doorbell that I tried to figure out, not having any context or a decent starting point. And the folks who aren't doing as well as they want to, or they know they can, or they feel they deserve, they put a trade on and not having a solid plan and maybe not managing risk. So I want you to meet, this is our team of coaches, our head coaches, me and John. I want you to meet John, that I've talked a lot about. Extremely impressive guy, formerly with Goldman Sachs, First Options of Chicago, Lind Waldock, just like the most elite firms in trading. He's been at them all. Traded for a hedge fund. So he recently said, I've consistently reminded group coaching students to focus on risk management, and it has paid off for many. And then, management, it's so important. And then I like to say, one of the things that I'm very famous for saying is there's the 3 M's of investing or trading. Management makes money. Management makes money. And that's supported by our students. This is Dave from Malvern, Pennsylvania. He says, I went from an average of 30 to 40 trades a week to 5 to 15 trades a week. He's much more selective in what strategy he trades. His account grew 53% in the last 90 days when he sent this to me. He says he's been really lucky, in quotes, right? Because this is never about luck lately, but he wanted, and then he goes on to say, wanted to thank you for giving me the foundational knowledge to apply my practice. Keep up the good work. So like, it's never about luck. It's about doing these selective trades and having that guidance. So how often can you find great option trades like this? All the time. 3 words. And some market periods are better than others, but great trades exist every day. And these next 2 months, man, I am really looking forward to them. So here's what we covered today so far. We've got many more things to talk about. We're going to do a Q&A session as well, which is my favorite part. But we talked about strategies from the MTM community, market analysis, and Coach Jan's trading plan, and top trade ideas right now. Didn't cover everything yet. We'll talk more about some of these things in the future, how to move forward from here, how to consistently discover the best trade ideas every day, management plans for each trade, and pro tips, how to use implied volatility analysis and the Greeks and many of the other things we talked about. So let's talk about how to consistently make money in the market now and going forward. This is a very simple process, and I want to share it with you. This is how you can take your trading to the next level. I believe that anyone can take money from the market consistently with low risk. Why do I believe that? Because I've seen it every day. But you know what the only problem is? Most people overcomplicate it. They take the hard route. And, I've done this in my own life. When I first started market taker mentoring, I didn't know how to build a website or, do email blasts and all this stuff. I tried to figure it out. And then one day somebody said, like my goal of starting this trading school was ultimately to grow it into what it is now, an amazing community of some of the top traders in the world, and to build an army of great traders. And I wasn't able to reach that goal because I didn't know how to do all these things. And I was expressing this to a friend of mine. He said, well, you can buy experience. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you can buy experience. And I was like, oh. And so, I just took some classes and, all of a sudden was able to figure these things out, and now I'm able to help thousands of people. It made my life so much easier, being able to instantly help thousands of students instead of spending all my time frustrated trying to figure out stuff on my own that somebody else already knew how to do and would guide me. So I want to introduce the Market Taker Live Advantage Group Coaching. In this course, I'm going to share with you all the techniques we use to set up debit spreads and credit spreads and time spreads and iron condors, butterflies, double calendars, all these things that we talked about here today, so you can stop guessing and stop risking your hard-earned money on weak trades that underperform. You deserve better, so that you can generate consistent low-risk profits and make your trading simple and stress-free. So here's just some of what is in the class: how to easily scan the market for high probability trades, how to select the optimal trades to maximize the probability of success, how to select the optimal expirations to maximize profit potential, which strategies to use under different market conditions, great rules of thumbs, planning your exits and entries. And like the second half of this is all management, because management makes money. And also how to avoid common traps of novice traders. So you now have a new opportunity to take your trading to the next level, to benefit from decades of experience, to benefit from a team, from a community, and to maximize your profits and chances of success while minimizing your risk. So this is for you if you want more consistency in your trading, you want more frequent winners. If you can follow a few simple steps and you are fearless and ready to be the trader you always knew you could be. And I know that many people I talk to know they're just so close, but they just need that extra push and are ready and are ready for it. So let's also cover who this is not for. This is not like for get rich quick goofballs, right? This is you can get rich trading options, but if every once in a while somebody comes and says, oh, I want to make one trade and make $1 million. So that's gambling. This is about consistency. Also, it's not for indecisive traders. but that is what's called an oxymoron. You can't be indecisive and make money trading. If you have to ask your mom every time, you know, yeah, you have to make an investment of $100, you're probably not going to make it as a trader, right? So, but I'm not worried about you guys. You made the decision to invest in yourselves this morning. Excellent. You are decisive. You are ready to go, right? Who's ready to go? Huh? Shelly says yes. Ken says, I am. Eric says yes. Vera says, me. Great. And Gary says, I am for sure. Good. I love that attitude. Hugh, Jaro, Bob, I love it, man. I love it. And also, by the way, this is also not for people who like doing things the hard way. I mean, some people are okay failing over and over again, losing money for years until they finally get it. I don't know if it's a pride thing, but as many of you have learned, the market is an expensive teacher. As they say, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance, right? So with trading, missing out on 3 years of profits and losing money during that time instead, that's the hard way. So the Market Taker Live Advantage group coaching that I'm talking about, you get the top trade ideas every single day. We scour the market every single day to just deliver you the best trade ideas every day with the management plan for each trade. Now, this is a $349 a month class. And why is it $349 a month? Because if you can make just one of the trades that we talked about today, it could easily cover the cost of the class for the entire month. Now, the live classes start, I say tomorrow, I mean Monday, and the classes are live every single trading day from 9 to 10 Central, that's 10 to 11 Eastern, and they're also recorded. Many people sign up for this class and they don't attend live, they watch the recordings, but we'd love to have you live and asking questions and being part of the community. You get access for the past 3 weeks of the recordings. You're going to be online with John every day in this class for the next month. He's the former Goldman Sachs guy. So to get the management plan every day and to make your trading simple and stress-free every day are the reasons to join this class. We want you to feel great about joining this class though. And we want to make it so you can fearlessly make the decision to see if it's for you. So we're gonna make this impossible for you to say no to right now. And we're gonna give you some bonuses to make sure this will work for everyone, no matter what your background in trading is. So first, you're going to get the group coaching class, which is normally $349 a month. And again, you're going to be online with John every day in this class for the next month. The 10,000 hour rule states that if you do something for 10,000 hours, you're an expert. John's been in the live markets every single day for the past 30 years. Given just weekdays of an 8-hour day, that comes out to over 50,000 hours of experience. But then you're also going to be part of the MTM community chat room where our top traders also share their trade ideas online every day. For those of you who are newer to options, we're going to level the playing field and give you our Options Impact video series, which is our basic level videos to ramp you up to speed fast track your success. Even if you've never traded an option before, you watch these short videos first and you'll be able to trade just like somebody who's been trading successfully for years. And we're also going to give you access to the MTM email hotline. This is a $500 service that we offer our students to have email access to us anytime. And we're going to give you that as a bonus to help ensure your success. So this is a $1,445 package, but not today. For those of you who join us right now at markettaker.com/99, you're going to get all this for just $99 for the first month. $99 for the first month. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Also, this is not on the slide, and I just thought of this earlier. I talked a lot about volatility analysis. For the first 7 people to join, I'm also going to personally email you out a video that I did on volatility analysis. That's for the first 7 people to join right now. When you join, those of you who join us right now, you're instantly going to get a username and password. You can start with the options impact videos. You're going to get another password for the chat room and be able to see what's going on in there. You should spend your time in there. It's a very, very powerful community. A couple of questions that I typically get, and then I'm going to take a few questions. We have some great speakers coming up after we're done here, and I want to make sure that they get their time, but I'm going to take a couple questions first. When is the class? It's every trading day from 9 to 10 Central, which is 10 to 11 Eastern. It's live every day, but it's recorded for people who, you know, have day jobs or might not be able to attend live. You don't need any special software. I also use GoToWebinar in this class. So if you're watching this webinar, you've got everything you need to make this work for you. Is it good for ETFs or stocks? It's good. Yes. It's good for ETFs. It's good for stocks. It's good for everything. So now I'm going to take some questions. I want to start out taking questions just about the class. Do we have any questions just about the class? Shelly says, how much is it after the first month? Oh, great question. So yeah, right. Like everyone's used to, hey, if I take a trial, I get this great trial price, and then it's full price. And this class is a bargain at full price. However, for those of you who join us today, you'll never pay full price on this class. We're going to give you 35% off for life. Now, when I say life, you can cancel anytime. There's no contract. You're not locked into anything, but you will renew for all this at $227 a month. I mean, if you can't cover that on one good trade, right? But you get to decide. You get to try it out for 99 bucks. You know, if it works out, you make a couple grand, $5,000 or whatever this month, you'll want to stay in the class. And you know, like your traders, your investors, like you understand the concept of making an investment. If you can pay 227 bucks a month and make a few $1,000 a month, that's a pretty good trade, right? I'd like to take some more questions on the class. And also welcome some of the new folks who just joined us. Hugh, welcome. Charlie, welcome. Dave, welcome. Congratulations. Good job investing in yourself this morning. Great job. You guys are going to get the video, the volatility analysis video that I promised for the first 7 people. Tick, tick, tick. Who else do we have here? Jaro, welcome. Great job. We got a couple more people who are going to be eligible for that volatility video. More questions about the class. I probably have maybe 1 or 2 minutes to answer anything else. Mark says, is the class mostly about more complex option strategies as opposed to simple call and put buying? Well, it is both. Generally speaking, you have a greater likelihood of success and a better risk reward when you trade spreads. So many of the trades will be spread trades. John and our philosophy is not to overcomplicate things. So like we don't do these crazy, 6-leg trades, so ratioed and all that. We keep it simple, but they're mostly spreads because we want to make the best trades in the market. Ken says, how do I sign up? I love that, Ken. In fact, I'm going to respond back to you right here. markettaker.com/99. I'm going to just send that to all so you guys can click on that. David says, what's the promo code? I saved you a step, David. Instead of giving a promo code, what I did is I just cut the price by 90%. All right, so you don't even have to put in the promo code. I already took care of that for you. 1 click. What size of a trading account do you need to start with, says Michael. I recommend $5,000 account would feel comfortable. You could go down to as little as $2,000. If you're looking for a great way to grow a small account, having daily trades delivered to you from a guy who worked at Goldman Sachs is is a nice opportunity, I think. Hugh says, just signed up. Thanks for the offer. Now the ball is in my court. I love that attitude, man. Yeah, absolutely. Eric says, Dan, I noticed most of the trade examples are for short dated options. Is this typical or just because volatility is so high around the election? Many of the trades shared in the class are have time horizons like that. But then some of them are about the election too. I mean, you know, some of the trades go out to as much as 3 weeks. But, you know, this is trading as opposed to investing, you know, as opposed to long-term investing. Typical time horizon is a couple of, maybe 3 days to 3 weeks. And Mark says, okay, makes sense. Thanks, Dan. I've never traded spreads before. Does that require a higher level of approval from one's brokerage? Every brokerage firm handles that differently. And so at some firms, yes, but it's not like you need the highest level or anything, you know. I mean, I think if you're at like level 2, you'll be able to do pretty much all the trades. And usually that's just a little phone call. And then I think I have time for one final question to make sure the rest of the speakers, there's a great lineup coming up today. The folks following me, make sure you stay on and check out what they have to say. JB says, how many trades do you make per day? So we share probably 5 to 7 trades a day, which you're not going to make 5 or 7 trades today, but that's even better because then you can cherry pick the ones that fit your trading style and the ones that you like the best. So not only are you getting the best trades of the day, but you're picking the best of the best from there. And welcome, John, and welcome, David. I think we can probably give away that volatility video for another 1 or 2 people who join us right now. Level 2 in TD Ameritrade, Tasteworks, and E-Trade for sure. Yeah, I think so, Vera. Let me just answer this one more question. David asks, do you do text as well as emails? So this is not your traditional. This is not your traditional trade alert service. This is what I like to call a trade alert service on steroids. Trade alert services can be really great, but the one challenge that people tell me about them is that they tell me a couple things. One is they're the last to know because you might not see your text or you might not see your email until later and everybody else got in the trade. Maybe it's not a good trade anymore. And the other, and the second thing is that they don't understand why it's a trade. That's just kind of blind faith. Like, here, trust me, trade this. It's great. And you know, without understanding the rationale, it makes it hard to manage it. And that's the third thing, is not having the management plan. In this class, you're getting the trade ideas live, real time, at the same time as everyone else. And you're getting the rationale behind the trade. And the third thing is you're getting the management plan for the trade. We've thought this through. We do everything we can to, you know, to all but guarantee your success. The trades are done during the trading day from 9 to 10 Central, which is 10 to 11 Eastern. All right, hey, thank you all for sharing a part of your Saturday morning with you. I'm really honored, and welcome to all of our new traders. Congratulations, great job taking that initiative and making it happen for yourselves. I love that. Great job, thank you. Have a great day, and we'll see you online next time.